All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Al Bauer again at topside at the President's Cup Regatta, and this is the do or die heat as they come up for a start in this, the finals of the President's Cup Regatta, with Atlas Van Lines and Pride of Pay'n Pak both having 800 points, and out they go in front. Taking the lead is Pride of Pay'n Pak, with Bill Muncey going after in second place. In third place out there is the boat named Miss Budweiser. But here we swing into the first turn, and let's see what happens. It's 6 times around this 2.5 mile over for a total distance of 15 miles. Out in front, Billy Sterett taking the lead in Pay'n Pak as he goes around the far turn. Bill Muncey's got to go if he wants to get him. They're both tied with 800 points by virtue of wins in preliminary heats. And there goes Sterett still in the lead. Trying to get by him over there is Bill Muncey in the boat named Atlas Van Lines, but he hasn't been able to get through. And Billy, and now, as they go down the backstretch, it's still Billy Sterett in Pride of Pay'n Pak out in front, setting the pace in lap number 1 of this 6-lap heat. Bill Muncey in the Atlas Van Lines is in second place, about 100 yards back of him as they round the turn at the lower end of this course. And it looks like it's going to be a 2-boat race as they swing down the far end, coming around on lap number 1. Both around the far turn now, and Muncey makes his move, trying to catch up to Billy Sterett. But here comes Muncey making his bid in Atlas Van Lines. 5-time winners of the President's Cup. The right boat is Muncey on the inside. On the outside is Billy Sterett. Sterett still got a length on him as they pass us here and go to the 14th Street end of the bridge. In the third place is the Miss Budweiser out there in the hands of Terry Sterett, a brother of the driver of the Pay'n Pak. And then comes the boat back here named the Townhouse with Buddy Alder at the wheel, and in back of him, the boat named the Pizza Pete of Bobby Gillum. Going down the far side over there as they go down to shoot. Here's where they really pour it on. And Sterett is still out in front in Pay'n Pak. Here's Muncey starting to move. And Bill Muncey moves up to try to pass him. He hasn't got past him yet. And still holding the number 1 position is Billy Sterett in the boat named Pride of Pay'n Pak, which has 800 points, the same as Muncey. Muncey is now about a length of open water in back of him as they go around the lower turn. And those 2 boats are leaving the rest of the field. The third boat is Miss Budweiser, about 275 to 300 yards back. Swinging the lower turn, that's Billy Sterett in the first place in the boat named Pride of Pay'n Pak. His father drove these boats years ago, and a mighty proud father it is, standing up here atop this race course, watching his 2 sons compete. Again, Muncey got through on the inside, and now Muncey's got Sterett starting to shoot smoke out of the top. And Sterett takes him, and Sterett has shown Muncey that he can pass him on the straightaway. That's going to hurt the ego of Billy Muncey as they go up to the upper turn. Still in third place back here, the Miss Budweiser. Swinging the upper turn as they go around. Bill Muncey gets through on the inside. Muncey and Atlas Van Lines and Billy Sterett out there in Pay'n Pak. Coming off the turn. The first one off the turn up there is Sterett again. And now, really pushing it down that long chute down there. Bill Muncey has overtaken him at the turn, dropping Sterett back into second place in Pay'n Pak. And Muncey in the boat named Atlas Van Lines is out in front by about 125 yards. He took him on the upper turn, got through on the inside, while Sterett seemed to slide to the outside. And now Bill Muncey, 5-time winner of the President's Cup, out here to try to make it number 6. He's got a lead now of about 20 yards as they come down around that lower turn. The boat named Pay'n Pak in the spray, going real wide to get out of it. Muncey cuts it real sharp, gains yardage by virtue of that sharp turn, and puts him about 50 to 60 yards ahead as he comes up here to complete this lap. Bill Muncey, 5-time winner in a boat named Atlas Van Lines. Still trying hard out there. The boat called Pride of Pay'n Pak is Billy Sterett from Owensboro, Kentucky. And in third place, the other representative of the Sterett family, Terry Sterett, in the Miss Budweiser, riding back in third. Now, Muncey holding on to a lead as they go around the 14th Street end, holding a lead of about 60 yards. The Budweiser is about, I would say, over a half mile back of them in third place. Then comes the boat named the Pizza Pete, and we have the Town Club. But Bill Muncey, right now back of the Coast Guard cutter, has opened up his lead as he gets down that chute to a lead of 150 yards. Now he's got to start throwing off. There's a throw-off buoy before you come to a turn so that you don't trip it as you go into the turn. These big 32 to 36 foot mammoths, 12 foot wide, powered with engines, big 24-cylinder engines, the same as they had in the P-38 airplane. Here we come off the turn. Muncey still holding a lead of about 60 yards. And Bill Muncey looks like he's going to make it an even half a dozen as he comes up here in the Atlas van lines. Bill with a big sign on there, Go Navy. Out in front as he passes me now by 150 yards. Billy Sterett in the Pride of Pay'n Pak. And those two boats are a half a lap ahead of anything else in the field. The other boats are just rounding the lower turn as they round the 14th Street end of the course. And Muncey, still the king of the hill up there as he goes off the turn. Here's our third boat just going by me now. Well over a half mile back. And this Budweiser in the hands of Terry Sterett. But Muncey is out there now, got himself that cushion that they need. He's the one can set his own pace now. He's got it about 120 yards, 150 yards lead. Will it go down in the lower turn? This is lap number 5. This time they'll get a green flag indicating one more lap to go. Now they're going to pass two of them down there. Two of them are dying right down there in the turn. And now Bill Muncey cuts on the inside as one of the disabled boats pulls the outside. Coming up here now is a Pizza Pete. And there comes Bill Muncey taking the green flag first. And now Terry Sterett, seeing that green flag, is like waving a red flag in front of a bull. And Terry Sterett starts to move. Now he's moved it up to about 20 yards. And he's got 20 yards to go to make up on this last lap. Can he do it? Well, I don't know. They got a boat right up there that's going to hold him up. It's a lap behind. Here they go into the turn. And swing into the turn as they go around the turn. Muncey's around first. Sterrett's on the outside, gone the wrong way around, but he's got his foot in it and riding hard. They're going around there now almost like one boat. There's one boat out in front of him about 25 yards, but that is a boat that's a lap behind him. And now the two leaders are running number 2 and 3 going down that back stretch. For the first boat is a lap behind. Don't pay attention to that first boat that's gone by. In the spray are Billy Sterett and Bill Muncey. And Billy Sterett is taking over the lead as he goes down into the lower turn. Here we go. Sterett is first. Atlas van lines going around on the outside, and it looks like Bill Muncey is not going to make it a half a dozen times. For here comes young Billy Sterett, a chip off the O block out there in Pride of Pay'n Pak, coming up here now to take the checkered flag, the emblem of victory that you see hanging out here on the Potomac. And youth must be served, and it's Billy Sterett coming up here to take it in the boat named Pride of Pay'n Pak. There he is over the line, leading Billy Muncey by about 150 to 175 yards in the boat Atlas van lines. So first is Pay'n Pak, second Atlas van lines, and of course the third boat out there still having a higher lap to go is the boat named the Pizza Pete of Bob Gillum. The third boat actually coming around the lower turn now. He's about a mile and a quarter in back of him. It's the Miss Budweiser coming up here, driven by another of the Sterett clan, this time by Terry Sterett, who's coming up to take third place. Two boats have finished. They're making their extra lap as they go around. But this time we've seen Bill Muncey unseated this time by a young chap from Owensboro, Kentucky. There's Miss Budweiser going over in third place. So it looks like it'll be Pay'n Pak first, Atlas van lines second, Budweiser third. And now it's a question of who's going to get fourth place. And I believe it's Town Club that's still out there in the hands of Freddie Alder. And he has about another half a lap to go as the lead boats continue making their extra lap, just in case there happens to be any question as to whether or not they jumped the gun or anything such thing as that. But as far as I can understand from our referee, looking down there, everything is okay. And there hasn't been anything said as to the jumping the gun or anything else. So it looks like the beautiful $35,000 gold punch bowl, first put into competition by the late President Cal Coolidge, is going to go this time to the owners of the boat named Pay'n Pak from out of Seattle, with Billy Sterett driving. And just finishing now is Bob Gillum's boat named Pizza Pete, and the Town Club, driven by Freddie Alder, dropped out of the competition. And that, ladies and gentlemen, winds up the running of the 41st President's Cup Regatta here on the Potomac River, and we have seen the crowning of a new champion in Billy Sterett in the boat named Pride of Pay'n Pak. And now back to your station announcer.